Hello again and thanks for joining. So today we've got 3 Jouef coaches to have a look at. These are all made in France a long time before Jouef got bought out by Hornby. So they're all vintage models. Now I got these as part of a job lot with a whole bunch of other items. So I'm not sure exactly how much these cost, but I do know that they go quite cheap in the second-hand market. But are they any good? Well, let's find out. This coach here, obviously the Grill Express, it's a French coach, unsurprisingly for Jouef. It comes in this blue box, which I think is actually a newer box, so I might be wrong. And the box is obviously missing its film window here. And this model is Jouef number 5401. So let's get this out of the packaging, which won't be difficult, and then we'll check it out. So here is the coach. It's quite an interesting design, this one. I think we might have some damage up here on the roof. It looks as though something has actually broken off on these two things here, or else maybe just the paint's come away. And also while we're looking at the top, you can see this really terrible moulding mark right in the middle. So this is a cream moulding. You can see some of the paint has come off here, but it's been painted with this dark grey here and this stripe, and it's obviously got the yellow stripe at the top there. And this looks to be a transfer that's been applied. So the knife and fork one isn't so good, but the writing isn't too bad there, and this here, the SNCF and the coach running number is very well done, as is the printing down here in this grey area. The windows are a bit frosted up here, but they do have an indication that there are split windows set up, and these two at each end have got grills on them. And there's no interior, but you can't really see inside that well. Also got another little transfer down this end of the coach. So the doors aren't defined that well. It's quite a simplistic moulding. Even things like on the top of the roof here, there's not much actual detail. And also some of the masking is pretty poor as well around the edges. But at the ends, we do have an extra part which is added on this piece here, and the buffers are extra parts that are pushed into the main moulding as well, although this one is actually missing one here. And the bogies are pretty plain as well. The wheels have got massive flanges on them, but they are really free rolling, which is pretty good. And these bogies just clip fit into the chassis. And it has integral couplings here hanging out the front with a metal ring on it. Each side of the coach is slightly different according to the design of this particular Grill Express. You can see the graphics here are different. We've got smaller windows as well, and a little panel here which wasn't on the other side. And underneath there's some indication of bracing, but it's not really that good. But we do have a number of interesting boxes under here, and you can see made in France there by Jouef. So it is a bit of a cheap model. It's pretty light as well, and I don't think it's particularly well detailed, although it is quite an interesting and colourful coach to model. So let's have a look at one of the other ones. So this is an older coach and also I think an older design of box. I actually prefer these designs. I think they're quite cool. This one is 5109 in the Jouef range. So let's get this open and we'll check it out as well. So this one has a bit more going for it than the first because it's got some additional extra parts. I've noticed here at each end by the doors we have some handrails moulded in. Those are actually made out of plastic, not metal, which is really quite incredible. We've also got an extra piece here for the gangway, which is more detailed than the previous coach, and again the buffers are separate pieces pushed into the main body. And up top we have these extra parts. I'm not sure whether it's meant to go all the way along here, possibly not, but these are extra plastic pieces which have been pushed into the roof, which does have a lot of rivet detail on this. No moulding mark either, so actually the roof looks pretty cool on this one. And also the sides of the coach have got a lot of rivets as well. Here it has PLM and the coach type, and here we have printing of Express along with some details down here which are very small but really nicely done. So underneath the chassis has a little bit more detail on here. We've got some rivet detail on the ribs. You can also see it says made in France by Jouef there. And we've got a couple of boxes which actually look pretty good as well. There's a bit more detail on the bogies as well. There's still a fairly basic design. And we have the same kind of wheels which revolve pretty well. And the couplings hanging out the front are exactly the same type with the little metal ring on them. And as per the other one, there's no interior in here. And the windows are a bit opaque as well. It's quite dirty, this coach. I don't know where these coaches have been in the past, but like I said, they are second-hand models and they are getting on a bit. But I do think this one's much better than the first one. But let's move on to the next one. Okay, so we're in Germany now. This is a DB baggage car. This time it's number 5792. So let's get this open and we'll check it out as well. So I think this one actually is the best of the three. Now it's quite brave of Jouef to make German DB carriages like this because a lot of other manufacturers make them, but this seems to be scale length because it is quite long. And I do like the finish on the green, this kind of matte colour. It actually works really well. Moulding on the roof is not too bad. There's some ridges on it. I'm not sure if that's really prototypical. And you can see that some of the paint has come off here where it's just had some wear and tear over the years. Again, we have an extra piece added on here. And even this little shutter on the side has been painted black, which is good. And we have the buffers as normal, extra pieces that have been pushed into the bottom part. So the windows are a lot cleaner and clear on this one, and we have silver surrounds which look pretty good. Still no interior though, and just a basic amount of relief on the doors here. And we have printing on the black area as well, which is really quite clear, and also the DB logo, although I think maybe the font isn't quite right there. And we've got some chrome silver here painted onto this handrail. The doors actually look pretty good as well. Underneath there's not much detail on this one though. We still get the Jouef made in France, and there's a couple of boxes. You can see some of the transfers, for example here, I've just slipped a little bit over the edge. And we got some more detail on the bogies. These ones actually look pretty cool as well. And it's the same wheels again, and they revolve as good as the others. And as per the other two, we've got the coupling hanging out the front, just an integral part with the bogie. And it's got the metal hoop as well. So overall, this model is definitely the best out of the three, I think. It does look pretty acceptable, although it is quite light as well. So I think maybe we should put all of these on the scales and see how much they weigh. So the German baggage car weighs 94 grams. The old timer coach is 74 grams. And the Grill Express is 102. So three very different types of coaches we have here from Jouef, but they have one thing in common: they're very budget. You can pick these up pretty cheap because people don't really want them, but I think that's a bit of a shame because they do offer a lot for the modeler who's on a budget. The baggage car, for example, I feel this is scale length, which is actually quite rare to get, and certainly rare at such a low price point. It does have some good printing on it, and the finish on the green is actually really good. The PLM coach does have a lot of extra parts added onto it, and it adds to the character of it. I think it's quite an acceptable coach. It doesn't have any interior and the glazing isn't that good, and it is super light, but you could add some weight into this and it'd probably operate perfectly fine. Probably the worst out of the three is the Grill Express. Now, I do like the prototype of this. It looks quite colourful and interesting, but I think the execution here is not too good at all. That said, that's not the point of these coaches. They're made to a budget and they can be cheap to pick up now on the second-hand market. And going around the track, you probably wouldn't notice, let's call them the compromises on these models, which have made them the price that they are. So it's a mixed bag, obviously not for the serious collector or the modeler who wants all the extra details and stuff like that. But as vintage models, they're pretty cool. And if you're on a budget, definitely check these out. My favourite out of the three is definitely the German baggage car. But what's your favourite? Let me know in the comments below. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on these coaches. And if you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps this channel. So I'll put the old timer coach on the turntable so you can see all the way around. But that wraps it up for this video. Thanks for watching. Cue the music.
So model trains, model worlds, choo choo, model trains, tiny worlds, choo choo. So model trains, model worlds, choo choo, model trains, tiny worlds, choo choo.